We last met for Sunday worship here at St Richard's on the 15th of March in what seems like a very different world to the one we find ourselves in today. During that time, many of us have been ill, some of us may even have lost loved ones. All of us, I'm sure, at some point have struggled with being unable to see our family, our friends, our colleagues, and just to go about our normal day-to-day business in the communities in which we live. The government relaxed restrictions of use of church buildings for collective worship at the beginning of July. As a staff team, we've been discussing what a return to the building for Sunday services might look like for a number of weeks. Due to us being in interregnum, with the blessing and affirmation of our Bishop and Area Dean, we decided to continue our programme of online services and gatherings throughout the summer and plan for a possible return to the building in September. This weekend, we are setting out our plans for what that return might look like, and we'd like to seek your views. The pandemic is by no means over, and we're therefore very much aware that while some people are eager to return to Sunday worship together, others may be understandably apprehensive or maybe even scared of the potential danger to health of being together indoors. It's important then to note at this point that should enough people want to return to Sunday worship together in the building, we will nevertheless continue to maintain an online presence. On Sundays we will stream our services from here online, and morning prayer will continue on Facebook Live twice a week. Whilst our provision may develop over time, initially we plan to only hold one service here on Sundays at 10 a.m. If you do plan to join us, it's vital that we all play our part in ensuring one another's safety. The Church of England has produced stringent guidelines for how we should do this, and we've carried out a detailed risk assessment to enable us to work out how this can be done in our own church building. When arriving, please form a socially distanced queue around the front of the building, tailing around to behind the prayer window. The front doors will be opened a few minutes prior to 10 a.m. This will be the case whatever the weather, so please be prepared. Equally, for ventilation, we are required to leave our doors open throughout our meeting. So if it's cold, it might be a bit chilly indoors. Please do wrap up. The congregation will be admitted to the foyer individually or in family units to maintain social distancing. The wearing of face masks will be mandatory for all those above the age of 11, unless you are in one of the government-defined categories exempt from wearing a face covering. If you can, please bring your own mask and put it on before entering the building. Upon entry, you will have your temperature checked using a non-contact thermometer, and you will be expected to use hand sanitiser, which we will provide. Disposable masks will be available for those who have not brought their own. We will ask for your name and telephone number for NHS Track and Trace. Details are stored for 21 days. You will then be shown to your seats, which will be set out at socially distanced intervals. Please follow the instruction of sidespeople and do not move your seats unless instructed. Families and bubbles will be able to sit together. We will admit worshippers according to physical distancing and public health requirements. This does mean that there is a numerical limit to how many people we can safely accommodate, and it's possible that we may need to turn people away. Your responses to the questionnaire below will help shape our planning so that hopefully this won't be necessary, but we hope you'll be understanding should it occur. Our services will take a similar short format to our current recorded services. They will be led by a member of our staff team and will be joined by a visiting minister, both of whom will wear visors whilst speaking. Over time, we'd love to include the contributions of those of you who would like to read or lead intercessions, but we're going to start simply. There will be no hymns or worship songs for us to sing together. We're having a new audio-visual system installed over the coming weeks, but it may be necessary for you to print out service sheets, which we will distribute by email and post on our website several days prior to the service. We'll let you know about this nearer the time. We plan to offer communion, This will be in one kind only, either bread or wafer, and will be administered according to COV guidelines and as hygienically as possible. Please follow the direction of service leaders and sites people. At the conclusion of the service, the congregation will be asked to leave row by row through the designated exit. Please resist the temptation to congregate outside. The COV guidelines state that certain groups of people may be at increased risk of severe disease from COVID-19, including people who are aged 70 or older, regardless of medical conditions. Individuals who fall within this group are advised to stay at home as much as possible, and if they do go out, to take particular care to minimise contact with others outside of their household. The decision to attend public worship or not lies fully with each individual. I hope that's useful. I hope it gives you an idea of what Sunday morning worship might look like. It's certainly going to be different, but I hope it's useful to help you make a decision as to whether now is the right time for you to come back to church or whether you'd rather wait. Either way, it's important that you make that decision for yourself. There's no pressure from us. We look forward to seeing you when the time is right for you. Obviously, things are going to be different, so we really ask that you bear with one another in love as we get used to this new way of doing things. We pray for your patience and understanding as we will, I'm sure, make some mistakes and not get it right first time, but we will do our best. We've all been required to adapt quickly to the very changing pattern of life, and as a team we're extremely grateful for the ways in which so many of you have embraced the various technological platforms that have enabled us to keep in touch both on Sunday mornings and throughout the week with home groups, meetings, story times, morning prayer and so on. Thank you to all of you who've been willing to bless others through leading, reading, praying, and generally encouraging one another and keeping in touch with one another during these challenging times. We hope to move towards a more familiar normality, but we will do so slowly and carefully and in full accordance with Government and Church of England guidelines. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. We'll do our best to give you the answers to help you through this. And we're really looking forward to being back together, whether that's soon or later. We're really looking forward to seeing you. Thank you for your time in watching, and God bless.